It was a crime so monstrous that it shocked a nation all too familiar with violence. The sentence, one that promises to become an example.
The sanction imposed to Rafael Uribe Nogueira reflects the deep rejection of an entire society that has started the journey to guarantee the fundamental rights of its women for future generations.
Rafael Uribe Nogueira, a wealthy architect from a prominent family in Bogotá, was sentenced to 51 years and 10 months in prison. He raped, tortured and killed a 7-year-old indigenous girl, Juliana Samboni, in his upscale apartment after kidnapping her in front of her poor house on a Sunday, December morning. The prosecutors said the case would set a precedent for the treatment of future minors victims of femicide.
This is a milestone for Colombian justice. We received this sentence just 4 months after the crime was committed. This is unusual in cases like this one in our country. Less than 10% are solved.
Demonstrators outside the court, though, said it's not enough.
There's no true justice for kids in Colombia. 51 years is not real justice. The maximum was 60 years, and that's what we were expecting. What else should the monster have done to deserve it?
As details of the crime were revealed last year, angry protests followed, exposing the stark divides between rich and poor in this capital and the troubling rates of violence against women. This is the shanty town just above the architect's apartment, where in broad daylight he pulled a girl in his SUV. And it's just the brutal and truly shameless way in which he did this and thought he could get away with it that has so many people deeply horrified. But unfortunately, this is far from an isolated case.
This is just the tip of the iceberg in a society that has failed to protect its children. Almost 2 children are killed every day in Colombia. Last year, nearly 17,000 boys and girls were sexually abused. That's 52 every day.
In Juliana's neighborhood, many wonder if the culprit's fortune and political connections will still spare him from serving much of his sentence. But many hope this case will instead end the indifference that has traditionally surrounded such crimes, and that Juliana's horrible death will not have happened in vain. Alessandro Ampieti, Al Jazeera, Bogotá.